Hello, everyone. Listen and speak together.
Welcome to the Mrs. English Interactive Podcast.
Maria, I'm really needing a coffee right now. My brain is officially at 0%.
Hugo, you know I sympathize with your fatigue, but you are needing a coffee? Technically speaking, that is a structural nightmare.
A nightmare? Come on, Maria. It's a morning emergency.
It is a grammatical emergency. Need is a stative verb. It describes a state of being, not a physical action. Therefore, it does not belong in the continuous ing form. You simply need a coffee.
See? This is exactly why our students feel like robots. I'm sitting here in the middle of a needing process, and you're telling me I'm just in a state? I feel very active about this coffee, Maria.
Your feelings are dynamic, Hugo, but the verb is static. And that is exactly what we are diving into today. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Mrs. English Interactive. I'm Maria.
And I'm Hugo. Today, we're tackling the intermediate plateau. You know that feeling when you can talk about your day, but you still feel stiff? Like you're reading from a manual?
Precisely. Often, that stiffness comes from a misunderstanding of how the English language categorizes being versus doing. For maximum clarity, we have to look at the why behind stative and dynamic verbs.
Translation. We're going to talk about why your textbook tells you one thing, but your favorite songs and the guy at the coffee shop tell you something totally different. Let's get into it.
To understand this, we must first define our terms. In English, we divide verbs into two main families. First, we have dynamic verbs. These are the action words, physical movements like run, jump, or eat. These have a clear beginning and an end. Consequently, they work perfectly with the ing ending.
Right, like I'm eating a taco. It starts when I grab the taco, and it ends, sadly, when the taco is gone.
Exactly. However, the second family is the stative family. These verbs describe things that are stable or unlikely to change throughout their duration. They represent thoughts, emotions, senses, and possession. Think of them as the foundation of your house. They don't move. They just exist.
Okay, Maria, I like that. But here's the thing. This is where the stuck intermediate learners start to panic. They learn the list: love, hate, know, believe, own. And they think, okay, I can never use ing with these. But then they walk past a McDonald's and hear, I'm loving it. Their brain just breaks.
And that is a valid frustration. If we look at the origin of these rules, grammarians wanted a strict divide. They argued that a state cannot be a process. You either know something or you do not. You cannot be in the middle of knowing it.
Wait, cannot be in the middle? Maria, I've definitely been in the middle of knowing the answer to a trivia question. It was right there on the tip of my tongue.
Technically, Hugo, you are in the process of recalling, which is an action. Knowing is the result. But this is the no-linguist zone for a reason. Let's simplify.
Please, let's use a modern mirror. Think of stative verbs like a photo and dynamic verbs like a movie.
That is an excellent analogy. A photo is a single, unchanging moment, a state. A movie is a series of movements, an action.
So, if I say I have a car, that's a photo. I just own it. It's not an activity. But if I say I'm having a party, that's a movie. There's dancing, there's music, there's people spilling drinks on my rug. That's an event.
Correct. Have is one of those special verbs that can switch sides. When it means possession, it is stative. When it means experience or action, it becomes dynamic. This is where learners get stuck. They try to apply one rule to a word that has two different lives.
And that's the textbook lie right there. Textbooks give you a list of words and say, these are stative, end of story. But in the real world, we use these words to show how we feel right now.
Indeed. In formal writing, think LinkedIn or a legal document, we strictly follow the stative rules. You would never write, I am belonging to this professional organization. You would say, I belong.
Yeah, because on LinkedIn, you want to sound permanent and professional. But on TikTok or at a bar with friends, if you say, I'm loving this song, it shows intensity. It shows that in this exact moment, you are feeling a huge vibe.
You are using the continuous form to signal temporariness or emotional involvement. It turns the photo into a short video clip.
I love that. So Maria, give us the professor's categories so we know which photos we're dealing with.
Certainly. There are 4 primary categories of stative verbs you must recognize to break through the plateau. 1. Thoughts and opinions. Verbs like believe, know, understand, and recognize. 2. Emotions and feelings. Verbs like love, hate, prefer, and want. 3. Senses and perception. Verbs like see, hear, smell, and taste. 4. Possession and being. Verbs like have, own, belong, and be.
Thoughts, feelings, senses, possession. Got it. But wait, Maria, you said see is stative? Like, I see the bird?
Correct. Seeing is often an involuntary perception. Your eyes just do it.
But I'm seeing a doctor tomorrow, and I've been seeing this girl for 3 months. Are those textbook lies too?
Those are dynamic shifts. When see means to meet or to have a relationship with, it becomes an action. It has a beginning and an end.
Wow. So the word stays the same, but the why changes. No wonder people feel stuck. They're trying to use a specific pin for a whole city.
Precisely. Learners often overgeneralize. They learn that ing means now, so they say, I am knowing the answer now. But know is a mental state. It doesn't matter if it's happening now. It's not a physical process.
It's like a background app on your phone, right? It's just running. You don't need to tell the phone to be running it. It's just there.
A perfect modern mirror, Hugo.
All right, I need a quick breather before we dive into the core lesson where we look at the verbs that break all the rules.
A wise choice. Go get that coffee you need, not are needing.
I'm going. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the deep end, everyone. If you're just joining us, Maria is currently trying to convince me that my morning coffee emergency isn't a physical process.
It is a psychological state, Hugo. But for those of you feeling stuck at the intermediate level, understanding this distinction is the key to unlocking natural English. We are moving beyond the list of words and looking at the why.
Exactly. Because here's the thing. Your textbook gives you a list of forbidden verbs and says, never use ing with these. And then you go out, hear a song, or watch a movie, and the rules are out the window. It's confusing.
It is confusing because language is not static. It is subjective. In linguistics, we call this viewpoint aspect.
Whoa, alert! Jargon incoming! Maria, what is viewpoint aspect in the no linguist zone?
Precisely. For maximum clarity, viewpoint aspect is simply your personal perspective. It is the decision you make as a speaker to describe something as a finished fact or an ongoing experience. Consequently, the grammar changes based on how you see the world.
I love that. So, it's not just a rule in a book, it's a choice in my head. Let's look at the biggest troublemaker, the verb to be.
A classic example. Technically, be is the ultimate stative verb. It defines identity. He is intelligent. She is kind. These are seen as permanent traits, the photo we discussed earlier.
But Maria, I've heard people say, he is being a jerk, or you are being very helpful today. That's ing right there.
You are exactly right, Hugo. When we use being, we are describing a temporary behavior, not a permanent character trait. If I say Hugo is silly, I am describing your personality. If I say Hugo is being silly, I am describing your actions right now. It is a movie of a temporary moment.
So, he is mean is who he is. He is being mean is just how he's acting because he didn't have his coffee.
Precisely. The ing signals to the listener, this is not normal. It is temporary.
That is such a huge modern mirror for our students. Think of it like a filter on Instagram. The simple present is no filter. It's just the raw truth. The continuous ing is like a specific filter you put on for just one post to show a specific vibe.
A very relatable analogy. Now, let's move to mental processes. This is where many B1 and B2 learners plateau because they are afraid to use the verb think.
Oh yeah, this is a big one. My students always ask, Hugo, can I say I'm thinking?
It depends on your intent. If you are expressing an opinion, a belief that is already formed, it is stative. I think that is a wonderful idea. You would never say, I am thinking that is a wonderful idea, because the opinion is a settled state.
But what if I'm in the middle of a brainstorm? What if my brain is actually running the app?
Then it becomes a dynamic action. I am thinking about moving to London. This is an active process of consideration. You are using your mind to perform a task. Consequently, the ing is perfectly appropriate.
So, I think equals my opinion. I'm thinking equals my brain is working. Don't overthink it.
Pun intended, I assume? Let's look at another category that causes grammar anxiety, the senses. Specifically, smell and taste.
This is my favorite one because it always involves food. Maria, explain the textbook rule first.
In the formal sense, these are perceptions. They are involuntary. If I walk into a bakery, I don't try to smell the bread. The scent just enters my nose. Therefore, the bread smells delicious. Stative.
But what about the chef? I see chefs in movies all the time. They're standing there, leaning over the pot, and they're actively, well, smelling.
Exactly. When the chef performs a voluntary action to check the quality, it becomes dynamic. The chef is smelling the soup, or the chef is tasting the sauce to see if it needs more salt.
Okay, so here's the Hugo translation. If the object is just sitting there doing its thing, it's a photo. The coffee smells good. But if a person is actively using their nose or mouth like a tool, it's a movie. The person is smelling the coffee.
Very well put. Now, we must address the McDonald's exception we mentioned, the verb love.
Ah, the I'm loving it mystery. Is it a mistake, or is it a secret native speaker code?
It is a bit of both. Technically, love describes an emotional state that should be permanent. However, in modern, casual English, we use the continuous form to show high intensity or current enjoyment.
It's like saying, I am enjoying this so much right now. It sounds more energetic. It sounds more alive.
True. But a word of caution for our learners. Do not use this in a formal essay or a professional email. If you write, I am loving your proposal to a CEO, it may sound too casual or even slightly immature.
Right? Keep the loving for the party, the tacos, and the music. Keep the love or appreciate for the office. It's the difference between LinkedIn and TikTok again.
We should also mention the helper words, or what linguists call auxiliary verbs, that make these continuous forms possible. For these dynamic shifts to work, you must have a form of to be and the ing ending. You cannot skip the helper.
Think of the helper word like a sound block. If you forget the am in I am thinking, the sentence falls apart. It's like trying to build a wall without the mortar. It's just a pile of bricks.
A very structural way of looking at it, Hugo. I approve.
I'm learning. Now, before we move to the real-world test, I want to give everyone a quick text message summary of what we just covered.
Please do.
Here's your TLDR. If it's a permanent fact or an opinion, keep it simple. If it's a temporary behavior or a mental process, go for the TMD. Done.
Beautifully concise.
All right, take a second. Let your brain process that, which is an action, and we'll be back for segment 3 where we put your skills to the test in the real world.
We will see you in a moment.
And we're back for the final round. Now, if you've been following along, you know the rules. Maria gave us the structure, I gave you the vibe. But now, it's time to see if you can handle English when it gets weird.
Real-world application is the ultimate litmus test, Hugo. It is one thing to identify a stative verb in a quiet classroom. It is quite another to hear a native speaker verbing a noun at a bus stop and know exactly why they did it.
Verbing a noun. See? Maria's got the fancy words again. In the no-linguist zone, that just means we're taking things that aren't verbs, like gym or Starbucks, and we're turning them into actions.
Precisely. This is a hallmark of street English. Native speakers often use the continuous form to describe an activity that has become a social event. Hugo, give them the gym test.
Okay, imagine you're texting a friend. You don't just say, do you want to go to the gym? That's too many words. In the real world, we say, are we gymming tomorrow?
Technically, gym is a location, a noun. Therefore, gymming should not exist. However, because the speaker sees the gym as a movie, an ongoing process of lifting weights and sweating, they use the ing to signal that it is an event.
Exactly. It's about that viewpoint aspect Maria mentioned. If I say I gym, I sound like a robot from 1950. If I say I'm gymming, I sound like I've got a protein shake in my hand and I'm ready to go.
It's the same with Starbucks, Subway, or even spoon. If I say this stew is not really spoonable, I am creating a temporary adjective. The language is malleable, and intermediate learners often plateau because they are afraid to play with these boundaries.
That's the grammar anxiety talking. You're so worried about being wrong that you forget to be natural. Let's do a quick real-world test with some common stative verbs that shift. Maria, give them the scenario.
Scenario 1. You are at a job interview. The interviewer asks for your opinion on the company's new strategy. Do you say, I am thinking it is good? Or, I think it is good?
Think about it. Simple or continuous?
The correct answer for a professional setting is, I think. It represents a firm, stable opinion.
Okay, scenario 2. You're at a party. A new song comes on. You love the beat, you're dancing, and your friend asks if you like it. Do you say, I love this, or I'm loving this?
Technically, both are acceptable, but I'm loving this expresses a higher level of emotional involvement and immediacy. It tells your friend you are having a great time right now.
Boom! You're using the McDonald's rule. You're turning that photo into a movie.
But remember the warning from segment 2. Do not Starbucks your way through a legal contract. For maximum clarity, structure remains king in formal environments.
Right. LinkedIn, Maria, TikTok, Hugo. Don't mix them up. Now, Maria, let's talk about the mental wall. Why do students feel like their brains are full when they get to this level?
That is a phenomenon related to Zipf's law. In the beginning, you learn high-frequency words that give you a rapid progress high. But as you move toward advanced fluency, the law of diminishing returns takes effect. To see the same level of progress you saw in your first month, you now have to work exponentially harder.
It's like the gym, again. The first time you lift a 5-pound weight, your muscles grow fast. But to get to the 50-pound weight, you got to change your routine. You can't just do more of the same.
Precisely. You must move out of autopilot mode. Research shows that after about 50 hours of using a skill, we stop focusing. We sink into a comfort zone. To break the plateau, you must engage in stress lessons, places where you have to communicate, like a busy cafe or a public park.
Don't be afraid to be a creator of the language. Instead of just reading the book, try verbing some nouns yourself. Ask your friends, are we cafeting later? They'll know what you mean, and more importantly, they'll see you have the confidence to play with English.
Confidence is the bridge between accuracy and fluency. The plateau is not a dead end. It is a phase of consolidation. It means your brain is saving the file of everything you've learned so far.
I love that. Your brain isn't full, it's just buffering.
An apt modern mirror, Hugo.
All right, before we go, it's time for the most important part of the show, the text message summary.
Here's your takeaway for today. Stative verbs are photos, and dynamic verbs are movies. If you want to show intensity or that something is temporary, use the ing form, but keep it casual.
And for your plateau mindset, your brain isn't stuck. It's just getting ready for the next level. Stop aiming for perfection and start aiming for connection.
Well said, Hugo.
Thanks. And hey, if you found this deep dive helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're here every week to help you move from the textbook to the street.
For more resources and the full list of stative verbs we discussed today, visit our website at missenglishinteractive.com.
See you in the next one. I'm finally going to go get that coffee I'm needing. I need.
We're still working on it. See you next time.